Readers from Rock Rebel magazine. Today we're here with the beautiful Maja from Forever Still. Hi and welcome back to Italy and welcome to Rock Rebel magazine. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, and I'm doing really good. It was a long drive today, but we're always happy to be back in Italy.
Okay. I would like to start, our chat talking, about Forever Still, of course. After a couple of months, you're coming back to Italy with a brand new tour who sees you along with Children of Bodom from Finland. So my first question, even if it's a bit trivial, I would like to ask you, how do you feel like sharing the stage with such a great band from the same label you've signed a record deal with?
Well, I think it's great, and the tour has been going really good so far. It's obviously a big tour, and it's been a lot of fun. We've gotten to play almost half the dates now, and time has just been flying. For me, it's all about is it a good match, and is it some nice people on tour? And for this tour, it's just been such pleasant people, so easy to deal with, and great audiences. And though they're quite heavy compared to us, at least, I feel like the audience here is people that appreciate melodic music, because that's the same thing Children of Bodom introduces into their music. So we've felt very welcomed by everyone.
Okay, lately a lot of people have talked about Forever Still, of course, due to so many reasons. The first one is the record deal you've signed with Nuclear Blast. Another reason can be the tour you've shared with Lacuna Coil.
Sure.
A great band from Italy, as we know.
Absolutely.
And one of the most appreciated in the world. So I would like to ask you, since you have been kind of noticed a lot from the audience, how do you feel like living this amazing experience?
How do you feel?
Like living this experience, since you are a new band to the people, let's say.
I mean, we have been working quite hard for quite some years before we started getting the tours, before we got on the label. So for us, we have definitely felt like we've prepared for it, and we also rented a rehearsal space big enough to actually practice our show in the rehearsal space, so we didn't come out on stage and didn't know exactly what we were doing. We've also done a lot of smaller tours before we went on tour with Lacuna Coil, so I feel like we've been working hard for it for a long time and preparing for it, so we felt very ready when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, despite the success you've been given with Tie Down, your debut album, you have always been considered as a do-it-yourself band, if we can say so.
Yeah.
Since you managed every single aspect of the band, starting from the promo pictures to the music videos and the merchandise and stuff. So I know it can be, or it can sound a bit hard to answer this question, but how difficult is for a band to get some recognition from the audience when you have to work so hard in order to get that recognition?
Well, I feel like just in the time of today, there are so many bands out there, so you really do need to work a lot and to work very hard to get yourself noticed. And obviously the first step is just making quality music, which of course I think we have been doing. We record our own music as well and mix it and master it. My co-writer Mikkel does that. So we have been in charge of so many things, and I really think that in order to get noticed, as you say, you just need to leave a lot of your life behind and just focus 110% on the music all the time, and then you actually can accomplish all these things you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a curious anecdote, but I discovered you via Twitter in 2015 due to your Italian fan club.
Oh yeah.
And I have to say that I was really curious about the band, because Forever Still was sounding so different in a way, and then I discovered that you released some EPs, so I digged into the music, and it was like, wow. I was truly impressed by the music itself, also because of the lyrics, who are very personal.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you, well, back then you weren't, of course, with Nuclear Blast, so how did this label ask you to join this metal family?
Well, actually the owner, Markus Steiger, he contacted us via our web form on foreverstill.dk, just saying, "Hi, this is Markus, owner of Nuclear Blast. I really love your stuff. You want to talk about signing a deal with Nuclear Blast?" And we're like, is this a joke? Is this somebody pulling a prank? Because I mean, it was on the web form. It was so informal and everything. But we met up and spoke to Nuclear Blast, and it appeared that they really loved all the things already. We were doing the music and the music videos and the photos and everything. So for them, it was just wanting to promote that even more and push it much more to a wider audience, while still giving us complete creative freedom to do all these things we wanted to do. So it was a perfect match for us, really.
You know, this is something I considered mine, but I've always said that music somehow is the cure for the soul, especially when you have to release some feeling, either positive or negative. So it's a sort of outlet, if we can say so, in order to release yourself from, you know, a bad period or whatever you're going through in darkest times, or also in positive times, if we can say so.
Right.
So I have to say also that music also helps to cope with our inner demons. I would like to ask you, do you like with this statement of mine? And especially, it would be wrong to say that your debut album, Tied Down, is a sort of a record of rebirth for you, since the lyrics, as I said, are very personal somehow.
Well, for us, both Mikkel and I, who write the songs, it has always from the get-go been about having very personal music. And we've never started writing a song thinking, oh, I want to sound like this band, or this song is cool. It's just always been like, I have this emotion and it sounds like this on an instrument. So that has always been the get-go, and I completely follow your statement, 100%, both as a listener and a creator. I definitely feel like it's an outlet, and for me it has totally been therapy to write this music. And a lot of people ask why it's so negative a lot of the times, but in reality it's because those are most often the emotions you need to free yourself from. Those are the ones you need to work with, and that's why the topics of our music, at least, often is a little dark, sad, depressing. But I do feel like you said, it does come to a place of rebirth when you actually get to let go of all these negative feelings. So that's always how we're going to do it. It means a lot to us to be able to make personal music like that.
What kind of message did you want to transmit with this record? I mean, if you were to give an advice to somebody, what would you recommend to those people who are unable to cope with, as I said, their inner demons, and they try to, for example, find relief in music in order to escape those problems?
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a good start, and that has definitely helped me, just to be able to connect with other people via music whom I can hear, okay, they feel the same way as me, and they're definitely still around, so there must be something better at the end of the road. And for the themes of Tied Down, obviously there are a lot of different ones, but the overarching theme is a person struggling through all these bad things, but getting to the other side where everything is a little brighter, and you start letting go. And that's what we reflected in the cover art as well, that you have the flowers coming from the tied down hands, because the hope comes from inside yourself, and when you break free, that's all that's left.
Okay, as I said earlier, you're here today in Milano, well, Trezzo sull'Adda with Children of Bodom, and in November you had this tour with Lacuna Coil.
Yeah.
So maybe it's too early to give a proper answer to this question, but what did you learn from both these bands, even if it's way too early, you know, talking about Children of Bodom? So
I feel more than learning from the actual bands, I think you learn from the tour. Like the Lacuna Coil tour in the fall was the first very big tour we went on. We've been out for a week or something like that, but this one was a month and a half. You know, very big production, big venues, and you very quickly learn how things work. And I feel like even after the first tour, we felt very prepared for the second tour. First tour was a bit overwhelming just in terms of planning. We were confirmed a month before we have to leave, so just planning the entire tour, ordering merch, redesigning, finishing the final things of the album, and setting up all interviews and press, and, you know, booking hotels, all that stuff. There was so much to do right there, and it was very overwhelming. But just doing this more times, you actually realize it's a lot of the same things. So once you've done the first one, the second one is not too bad.
Well, As I said, Tie Down has got so many positive reviews and a great feedback both from the fans and the press.
Luckily.
Luckily. And I have to say that recently, thanks to Nuclear Blast, you've released the acoustic version of Miss Madness, which is one of my favorite tracks
thank
of the
you.
albums.
Thank you.
So I would like to ask you, have you ever thought of, for example, releasing something acoustic, or even, planning a tour, an acoustic tour, an unplugged one?
I think that would be a lot of fun, actually. I like the vibe of that, and I like the intimacy, and we have talked about it, so it could definitely happen at some point, the tour part. For the acoustic versions, we did do 3 for the limited edition version of Tied Down, of Save Me, Miss Madness and Scars, which I thought was a lot of fun to do, and we have talked about continue this year by making some more acoustic version of the other songs of the album too, so something is coming.
Okay, my final question is, what's actually brewing for Forever Still?
Well, lots of good stuff. I mean, this tour is definitely a big one, so once we're done with that, we're gonna go home and play some festivals over the summer, maybe go out for a few dates in the summer and in the fall of touring, and besides that, we're just gonna work on our next album, and we're gonna work probably on some, like we talked about, acoustic versions, music videos, keeping the ball rolling for Tied Down because it deserves a bit more attention, and hopefully we'll have a new album ready in early 2018.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I will so looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I would like to thank you for your time and for having given us this spot. And as our tradition wants, I give the interviewee the chance to share the final words with the people who is going to see this. So I call you to speak.
For sure. Yeah, well, I mean, it's fun to be back in Trezzo because it's the same place we played last time, and that time it was a home show for Lacuna Coil. So we were very excited to be here. We had a good time, met a lot of amazing people last time, and I hope we'll see a lot of old and new faces tonight.